Hey, this is Christy Whitman with the Quantum Success Show, where you can get your information and inspiration to create your desires. And I wanted to share a personal manifestation with you. About a year ago, I was seeing the Eiffel Tower everywhere I went, whether it was in a bathroom at my hair salon or a little Eiffel Tower at a bakery. Everything just kept showing me the Eiffel Tower. And I decided, I've never been to Paris, and how beautiful would that be to go to Paris with my husband, who happens to be French. So I told him one of my deepest desires was to go with him to Paris and to have him create the entire week, to create the entire trip. And all I wanted to do was go shopping at Chanel and eat croissants. And I wanted him to plan the rest of it. So I wanted to take you through the steps of what happened to manifest literally probably one of the best weeks of my life. I am having the time of my life. So first of all, I created a vision board. I had a picture created of Frederic and myself superimposed on a picture I found on the internet in front of the Eiffel Tower. And I posted that in my house in Arizona and in my house in Montreal. And I would look at it all the time. And I even shared it with a bunch of the coaches that attended the Quantum Success in Business 2 years ago, and showed them the picture and that this is what I envisioned. And when I started to think about the possibility of going to Paris, I had some resistance because the conditions in mine and Frederic's life did not support the vision that I had, where he would be the one taking me to Paris and planning everything, and I just came along for the ride. And I could tell by doing this work for a long time that I was having some resistance. And the belief or the thought process that I had was based on the current conditions that we had, and we all have them. I wouldn't be going to Paris anytime soon. So I looked at what are our options. Because when you feel you're in lack of any kind, it's because you perceive that there's only one way, and it's the bad way or the wrong way, or there is no way. So we started looking at what are the possibilities. And so we decided that Frederic would design the entire trip and I would take care of it financially. And that felt really, really good for both of us. And so we kind of let it go. And about a week or two later, I got asked to speak in Milan. And when speaking to Frederic about it, I said, why don't we tack on the trip in the front part of going to Paris before we go to Milan? And so the creation started to become a reality. We started to plan it, or he started to plan it, and deciding what would be the best day to leave, and how many days we would want to stay, and the places that we would want to stay at, and where we would want to go. And it was really amazing. And as we were moving along the planning stage, we realized that we were leaving on a flight on our 10-year anniversary. So then we made it our anniversary trip. Well, just weeks before we were taking the trip, the Milan speaking engagement fell through, but we decided to still go to Paris. And during this time, we had other obstacles that happened. Our nanny that had been with us for almost 8 years, over 8 years, she resigned, and it was time to move on. And so I didn't have anybody to watch the boys, who I really loved and trusted. And so we were thinking, who could we ask? And both my cousin Sophia, who watches the boys, and Evelyn Apostolou, who is the godmother of Maxim, both of them couldn't do it. And so I said to my husband, what about Teresa? They know and love Teresa. Teresa knows and loves them. And he said, she's got her own family. We can't ask her to leave her family so that we could go on a trip to Paris and Milan. And I told Teresa what had happened, how my nanny had resigned, and she volunteered. I didn't even have to ask her. And next thing I knew, she had cleared it with her husband and her kids, and she was going to be coming to Montreal to watch the boys. So because Milan fell through, it no longer was a longer trip, it was shorter, and the trip was just all about being with my husband. So we flew first class to Paris, and were upgraded to this amazing hotel room where you can see, I said to Frederic, I would love to see the Eiffel Tower from my room. If you can see it behind me, I'm on the balcony of the upgraded suite that we got. So living totally in the place of allowing living in the place of just total fun. Before we even got to Paris, we were at a Joan Jett concert, and I had heard days before we went to the Joan Jett concert that the Rolling Stones were going to be playing in Europe and that they were doing a European tour. So we're literally minutes before Joan Jett is about to come on stage. This is in September, so about a month before. And we're looking and we see that the Rolling Stones are in fact in Paris on the days that we had already planned to go to Paris. So my husband surprised me and got us tickets, really great tickets, for the Rolling Stones to see one of their last tours. So last night we got to go see the Rolling Stones, and then my husband, of course, was trying to be Mick Jagger the rest of the evening and dancing around like him. But we got to go to castles and Versailles, and we got to go shopping, and I literally had the time of my life. I feel like I am a completely changed person. I'm in such gratitude and appreciation of this whole process of manifestation. And so I really wanted to emphasize that whenever you have a desire within you, don't deny your desires. Allow yourself to have them. And the thing is, when you have your desires and then you feel any type of resistance come up, ask yourself, is the perspective or the belief that you're holding that's, really constricting you, that's just a belief, it's a perspective. And if you look for the other options, if you look for what's possible, look for, as Karen Wilson used to say, at least 9 options for every given situation. What could you look at? What perspective could you hold that would make you feel expansive? Because if I would have kept holding the perspective of, oh, it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen the next decade or so, or how is that going to even possibly happen, I wouldn't have had this amazing, miraculous experience that I had. But I knew, feeling what I felt, feeling the restriction and feeling that constriction, that I needed to change my perspective or at least look for other options. And that's always the key to manifestation, manifesting anything you desire. So here I am in the middle of one of my most amazing manifestations, being able to literally see the Eiffel Tower behind me, being able to enjoy this amazing room, this amazing time with my husband, having a romantic time, enjoying the Rolling Stones, enjoying beautiful castles and wonderful food, and just having, going shopping in Paris fashion and doing the things that I absolutely love, rock and roll and fashion. 2 of my favorite and most things I'm passionate about. So I really encourage you that whatever you have as a desire in your life, don't shrink your desires. Don't tell yourself you can't have them or give yourself justification why you can't have them. Find out the reason you are restricting. What belief are you holding? What perspective are you holding? Because that's what needs to shift. Because we are meant to live the life that we love. You and your life are absolutely unlimited. And when you align with that divine inside of you that is always saying, yes, that's my desire, go forth and expand into that. Feel the passion of life moving through you. That's when life gets really good and juicy. So I hope you've enjoyed this show. Have an amazing day. And just remember, you deserve to have your desires fulfilled. Thanks so much. Leave me a comment. Have a good day, everyone. Bye. Oh, it's a heart. Stop it now.
No.
Oh my God.
Thanks for watching, and here is a related video to watch right now. Also, check out my free webinars on creating whatever you want in your life using the universal laws that I explain in each webinar. So share your thoughts by leaving a comment and continue the conversation at ChristyWhitman.com.